Coming up on No Pulp, conference tournament week is finally here as we inch closer and closer to the big dance, and oh boy, are things crazy at the top.
And one of the greatest college basketball minds in the game joins the program. He'll tell you who's in and who is out of this year's NCAA tournament.
Plus, it's a tall task for Mr. Tall, Austin Barach. He'll join the show in the juicer. Again. Take on Calvin, go toe-to-toe with Bino to my left. It's No Pulp. It starts right now.
Like Sonny DeShero from Auburn. The freshman never win. The freshman never won championships.
Jeremy, you are an absolute sweat.
Cleveland the catch. Good if it goes. He hit it.
Wow, it's getting serious.
Frankly, I'm pretty embarrassed.
Bang!
All day like
Hey, welcome on into our CitrusTV studios. He's Calvin Christoforo. I'm Johnny Gadamowitz. So glad to have you on board with us tonight. Hey, Calvin, do you like brackets?
I'd say I like brackets.
You do?
Yeah.
You're a big brackets guy?
I would say so.
Cool, okay. If you do like brackets, these next few weeks, they're going to be a lot of fun. If you don't, you might be on the wrong program. You might want to find something else. But we'll kick things off tonight by starting at the top.
With a chicken nugget bracket.
Nope, no chicken nuggets. We're going to talk college basketball. The past few weeks have been a little crazy. In particular, this past week alone, Calvin, we saw some really bad losses from the teams at the top of the mountain. Which loss, though, was the worst in your mind?
For me, I don't know if it's the worst, but Tennessee is a team I am losing faith in, and a team I'm losing faith in really quickly. This was a squad ranked in the top 3 of the country at one time. They're now down to 18 losers of 5 of their last 8, just 3 and 5 in their last 8. On the road to unranked Auburn, they go down there and lose. This is a Tennessee team that I really, right now, don't see making it out of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament.
All right, so you mentioned Tennessee. Let's check out some of those other top losses, though, that we saw.
Texas A&M. For the 22nd time this year, playing that good a defense. Huge win for Rodney Terry and Texas on senior day.
it was all Iowa State this afternoon. 73-58.
Big time win for Shaheed Holloway today.
They were in search of this signature win that has eluded them the last month and a half, and they get it.
So there you see some of them. You already hit on yours, Calvin. I'm going to go with Kansas.
Really?
I think this is a team that people are saying is the best team in the country.
Kansas is the best team in the country.
Or certainly one of. Certainly one of them.
I say,
hey, you're
I
people.
Say,
Calvin is people,
I'm
so
one
that
of
makes
those
sense.
I am a person.
They lose
That's
by
fair.
16 points in a game where Texas really just shuts them down. The Jayhawks put up only 24 points in the first half. 59 on the game as a whole on just 36%. And I'm concerned about the defense, too. Texas, 19 assists on 25 made field goals. Carved them up like Swiss cheese. I think the Jayhawks need to watch themselves. But overall, Calvin, we'll zoom out here. How does this sort of topsy-turvy nature of what's going on here, how does that affect conference tournament week coming up?
I'll tell you this. No one is going to be a billionaire after the NCAA tournament because it is going to be reckless abandonment of your brackets early and often. It is going to be a complete madhouse in March. The conference tournaments you think are one thing. I mean, even look at the women. 7th seed Washington State wins the Pac-12. There is going to be madness and mayhem starting in the conference tournaments and in the NCAA tournaments as wide open as ever here in 2023.
I will say this, though. I still think it's a clean slate, right? Like, as crazy as these past few weeks have been, if you are a Kansas of the world, you get to go into this week knowing, okay, yeah, sure, we have some bad losses. None of that matters now.
Well, Kansas is a team with 15 quad one wins.
Yeah.
The Pulpers, who we're not supposed to talk about in this show, have 0. So 15 quad one wins is just a crazy number to think about. I think Kansas is fine. They are my national champion. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I really like the Jayhawks. Let's flip to the women's side. The ACC has been a powerhouse for women's basketball throughout this season. A lot of teams going to the NCAA tournament, 8, maybe 9. It was a crazy ACC tournament, though. Virginia Tech wins their first ever ACC title. What were your takeaways about the tournament in Greensboro?
It's a loaded conference. You mentioned it, but I think you got to give credit where credit is due to the Hokies.
Sure.
Because it is a Hokies team that really showed up big time. They held Louisville to 37%. They held Haley Van Lith, one of the most prolific scorers in the conference, to just 4 of 17 from the floor. Outside of that, you're probably looking at a Miami team that just sneaks in. Syracuse probably not getting there thanks to a first-round loss. But outside of that, you look at Duke, Notre Dame, NC State. Let's hit on the Wolfpack here for a sec. What the heck is going on with NC State? Held to just 4 points in the entire second quarter by Notre Dame back in the quarterfinals. A program that went to the Elite Eight a year ago. I understand the talent isn't the same for the Wolfpack, but it's a program that obviously has the experience. Wes Moore leading the way. I'm not so sure why we've seen the Wolfpack not really enter that upper tier, upper echelon of ACC squads.
I'll tell you why. Diamond Johnson has been out since early February.
Yeah.
She is coming back for the NCAA tournament, so that will be a big boost. For me, I also look at injuries, and I look at Notre Dame. I'm really concerned about the Irish without Olivia Miles. She is a flat-out hooper. We know that. She can get buckets with anybody in the country, but if she is off the floor, I don't think Notre Dame has a chance to reach the Final Four.
So you think that reliance on her?
100%.
Okay.
They need Olivia Miles to win. That's why I think Notre Dame's in trouble. Another team I want to highlight, Duke. This is a squad top 3 in the nation in scoring defense, number 2 in the country, only behind Norfolk State, number 1 in the ACC. But they haven't been scoring. They have not scored 45 points in their last 3 games. For a Duke team that was a top seed, number 2 in this ACC bracket going into it, I'm concerned about the Blue Devils because you can play as good a defense as you want, but if a team can only score 50 points and beat you, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but offense wins games, defense wins championships, no?
Well, games are what you're going to need to win
That's
to win a
true.
championship.
You do need to win games in order to win a championship. That's a good point by you. When we come back here on No Pulp, we will head to the Juicer where noted high school basketball star Austin A.B. Barach will attempt to take down Calvin. We'll preview some conference tourneys right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker. New from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
We're back on No Pulp, and oh boy, is this a heavyweight bout. We've got all 7 feet of Austin Barach going up against our own Calvin Christoforo.
What do you mean? If he's 7 feet.
Full disclosure, is standing on a box right now, but we're going to break down some conference tournaments. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing well, Johnny. Hey, you ever had a Starry?
I can't say I've had the pleasure.
You have one of those after the show. That's for you.
I'll stick it in my back pocket.
Johnny, look, I would like to address America and say there's no shot I take down Calvin tonight. It's basically like prime Tom Brady against a rookie quarterback. But what I will say...
Hedge your bets, AG.
Right. But as a historian of this show, I dug deep into the No Pulp archive, and I found this clip.
It took me high. I searched long and hard.
I really hate to break it to you, but these are the wrong beans.
Come on.
These are the beans and some other guy's beans. Johnny, 7-0 victory in the juicer. Nobody saw it coming.
Those were good times.
Yes, so over the last 10 months, I traversed the world
far and
wide.
No way you found the real magic beans.
And I found the real magic beans. Johnny, enjoy those.
Oh my God, he's got the beans.
Johnny,
all right,
you know what's good?
Brownie points go to AJ.
There you go. Good start.
You want to wash down those magic beans?
No way you got another star.
Never had a star?
Oh my God.
Perfect opportunity to wash those down.
All right, well, goes without saying, we just have an absolutely loaded juicer. We've got both our contestants here really vying for those brownie points. But now, gentlemen, all this, the beans, the Starry, it goes to the side, and we're going to talk some basketball because we've got a busy week of conference tournaments coming up. I want to start out in the Big East. We're going to be predicting some conference tourney winners here. Calvin, we'll start with you first. Who do you like?
I'll put the Starry down on the table on Marquette. This is a team right now playing very good basketball. 8-4 on the road, though, is the stat I want you to look at because you don't play the conference tournaments at home. You play conference tournaments at neutral site. In Marquette, a team on a 5-game winning streak to close out the season. Just one loss since mid-January.
Who was that to, though? Who was that to?
Iffy, you can hold it. You're going to have your turn.
Okay. Yep.
One loss since mid-January. A Marquette team, 8-4. On the road, they can win outside of Milwaukee. That's why I like Marquette to win the Big East tournament. The number 6 team in the nation under Shaka Smart knows how to win.
Sure, that's all fun and games, but I'm going with UConn to win the Big East tournament right here. Yeah, they've thrown people off the set.
That's ridiculous. You might need a Starry to think about that one.
Well, look. This stuff aside, you can handle that yourself. 14-0 start. Then they went, 1-5 in that January stretch, but nobody wants to peak in January. And now they're under the radar thanks to Shaka Smart. You talk all about this Marquette team, but they don't want any part of this UConn team when they squared off in stores.
See,
we'll get to the neutral site point a little bit later. Don't you worry,
How
Kevin.
about you get to that quicker?
Okay, let me take my time. Okay, we got all the time in the world. Huskies out rebounded the Golden Eagles by 24. UConn 21 offensive rebounds. Marquette 24 total rebounds. UConn second in the nation in rebound rate. Marquette 300 spots lower at 302. Take that. Marquette doesn't want that physicality. UConn's taking it in the Big East.
Austin, I got good news and I got bad news.
Oh boy.
I'll give you the bad news first. We're going Marquette. Calvin takes round 1. The good news is you get to go first for our next round coming up here where we're going to hit on the Big Ten. It's 1-0, Mr. Cristoforo. Let's go to the Big Ten, though, here, AB. Who do you like?
Look, I look at this Big Ten and I say, I don't really want to pick anybody because it's a bad conference. A lot of Big Ten truthers say, a lot of deep teams, but a lot of losses. But one thing that we do know is that a team does have to win this tournament, and I'm picking Northwestern to win that tournament. A Ben Spector favorite right here. Boo Booey, the name to know right there, first team all name, and he's got the game to back it up himself. He's a Bob Cousy Award finalist, Calvin. I know you love driving westbound on I-90, the Mass Pike right there. Over 17 points per game for Boo Booey. Number 1 in the Big Ten in free throw percentage. He elevates himself in the big game. 26 points in a win at IU. 26 points in a win at number 1 Purdue. 35 at Illinois. And 20 a win at Michigan State. And oh, by the way, Chase Audige, second in the Big Ten in steals per game. This is a feisty group of cats that are going to win the Big Ten in Indianapolis.
That's really odd that you said there's not a lot of good teams in the Big Ten, so I'll just pick the worst to win the Big Ten tournament. That is ridiculous.
They're the number 2 seed. They're the number 2 seed.
I'm taking Michigan State, a team that is a lot more to play for than just a couple of Starries. Look, this is a Spartans team that has gone through a ton throughout the season, and they are going to be very motivated going into this Big Ten tournament with Tom Izzo, a guy who knows how to win in March. But this is why I like Michigan State. They have guys that can shoot it from 3. Joey Hauser and Tyson Walker both score more than 14 points a game, and both shoot it nearly 40% from beyond the over 40%. From beyond the arc. 3-point shooting will travel in the Big Ten tournament. I like Michigan State, a team that knows how to win, and a team playing for something in Indianapolis.
Michigan State 1-4 against teams in Indiana this season. The basketball gods in Indiana.
Wait. All right. Well said. I do have to wrap you, though, because Mr. Cristoforo, again, with a little bit more of a convincing argument. I'm sorry, Austin, but don't worry.
As expected.
Let's go Michigan State. It's 2-0, Calvin. We are going to up the stakes, though. This next round now, all of a sudden, is for 2 points.
2 points.
Austin, a win here.
Early.
Good tie. Let's move over to the Atlantic Coast. Calvin, your turn to start.
Duke is winning the Atlantic Coast Conference because this is a team very young to start the season, finding its groove right now. 3 of the top 10 recruits in the class of 2022 on this roster. And Duke, slow start. A lot of people counted them out. Now they've won 6 straight, feeling really good about themselves going into this tournament. Kyle Filipowski, the ACC player, freshman of the year, just announced today. This is a Duke team that has gained experience throughout the season and are ready to show the world what they are made of in the ACC tournament. I get a Starry down on the Duke Blue Devils to win in Greensboro.
There's a lot going on here, and there's a lot going on in the ACC. When you look at these teams, Duke, they're young. Clemson, cute story. They're not going to win. North Carolina, they've disappointed all season. Pitt, they lost 2 in a row. Virginia is the only adult in the room when it comes to the
Adult?
ACC. Yes, you look at all these teams. Duke, you mentioned how young they are. They're sitting at the kids' table, Calvin, okay? You look at Virginia, they only have 6 losses all year. One of those was the top-ranked Houston. The other 5 were on the road. They take care of business when they're supposed to win. They'll take on UNC probably in the second round. No way UNC beats them twice in a row. This is a UVA team that isn't good enough to reach the Final Four, but they're good enough to win this ACC tournament. They got Kihei Clark, Amon Franklin, Jaden Gardner. They're going to take care of business and be the adults in the room.
I said it before, defense wins championships. Defense also does win
Offense wins
ACC
games.
championships. AB takes this round, so we're knotted up at 2. I like UVA.
Game
All
on
right,
the
gentlemen,
line.
here we
You
go.
know time.
Finally, let's do it. Big 12 time. Austin, who's your selection?
Texas, I picked them to win the preseason national championship, and they've done.
Odd pick.
Look, Rodney Terry, he took over. He knows how to galvanize this group of guys on the sideline, and they deploy a 3-guard lineup similar, you might remember, to that 2021 Baylor team
I
that
don't remember.
won it all just 2 years ago. Bino, okay, it's not that hard to remember. Marcus Carr, 16 points per game. Sir Jabari Rice, the transfer from New Mexico State, gotta love that name as well. 5 20-point games for him over the last 11 contests. And then Tyrese Hunter. We got 3 guards, a team that has a chip on their shoulder. They're hungry to win this tournament, unlike an experienced Kansas team who is just playing for the big dance. No way you go with Kansas.
I often don't go all in, but tonight, Johnny, sometimes you just got to push all your
Wow.
chips here
Show
to
me
the
the
center
river.
of the table and go with the best team in college basketball, and that is Kansas. They have 7 Starries times 2 plus 1 quad 1 wins. That is 15 quad 1 victories.
People have been saying this 15th seed.
You're at a 10, okay? You know you lost. Go down to a 1. Okay, 15 quad 1 victories, an experienced team, an experienced coach. You can say they're playing for the March Madness tournament all
It's
you want.
Jalen Wilson,
they're
a bunch of
winning
sideshows.
a Big 12 tournament because that means something in the Big 12. Kansas, the best team in college basketball. I don't like picking against the best team in college basketball. I prefer to pick the best team in college basketball, so I did, and I picked Kansas.
All right, here's the ruling. I don't like Kansas very much. So
What do you mean by that?
I'm going to go Texas, and I'm going to give it to Austin. But here's the catch.
I don't
Is
like
it
this.
because
I
Austin's
don't like
in
this at
Texas?
all.
I didn't tell you guys what the point value was for this round yet.
It's a -1.
I changed it on the fly. I changed it before. I can change it again. The point value, if you guys know me,
The magic
you know
beans,
I
the
enjoy,
magic beans. I
you know
traveled
I
all
enjoy
over the
math.
world.
You were doing a little math before, right?
were.
The
3, 4,
point
5
value
right
for
triangle.
round 4 was I squared. You know what I squared is?
That's an imaginary number, right?
Right, but you know what I squared is? Austin, I hate to break it to you, it's -1. Calvin Christoforo, victorious. He takes it.
Calc
His
2,
final
baby!
finisher.
Calc 2! Call it Mr. Snyder. Okay, that's how you win championships. He'll bring it up.
Hey, it was a valiant effort. You did your best.
America, I got jobbed.
Get these sparks.
Calvin takes it. Hey, when we come back on No
Give me those
Pulp,
beans,
we'll
bud.
check in with Joe Puccio to give us a check-in on the men's bracket. All that and more when No Pulp returns.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back into No Pulp. Calvin Christoforo with Johnny Gadamowitz, and now Joey Brackett's
How you
in
doing?
the building. You've heard of Joe Lunardi. You've heard of Charlie Cream. You've heard of Carson Fowler. It is Joe Puccio in the building now to break down who is in and who is out of the NCAA tournament. Going to give us his top 4 seeds as well. Joe, welcome to the program. Ever had a Starry?
Yeah, I have, and they're pretty tasty. I wish I could have 6
more. A little lemon lime flavor at the end of that
Pretty
Starry.
good.
But we'll start with this. I'll give you some flavor, okay? There's a lot of teams on the bubble right now, and there's 4 that really want those last 4 spots in the NCAA tournament. I'm dying to know, who are your last 4 teams in?
My last 4, we'll start with Clemson out of the ACC, a conference that has been disrespected all season long. I think the Tigers get 1 win in the ACC tournament. They hung with Virginia earlier in the season, so I like Clemson to get in. Penn State out of the Big Ten, football school, golf school, now basketball school. Last 4 in. Nevada's one of those teams that, they might not play well all season, might not hear about them, but they have to play San Jose State in the conference tournament. The only good Spartans are over in New Hartford. So we know that San Jose is going to lose that game, and Nevada gets itself into the tournament. And then Oklahoma State. Look, the Cowboys have to play the Sooners in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. I think as you guys are sensing a theme, right? If you get 1 win in your conference tournament, you can get in. The Sooners are the only sub-500 team in the Big 12, so I like the Cowboys.
Hold on. Did I just see, though, I like the Tigers getting in. I love Clemson, a team going down the stretch here in the ACC.
Too, yeah.
Did I just see North Carolina in the first 4 out?
Oh, yes, you did. North Carolina has a lot of question marks in my eyes. Only 1 win in the Quad 1. Then the same boat as Michigan, right? These are 2 teams that you would think are collegiate powerhouses, but they fall right out. And then right above them, Mississippi State and Utah State. I think Mississippi State is a victim of a really good SEC. And then Utah State's the team that every single year, look, they don't call me Joey Brackets for nothing. There's one team in March Madness every year that gets kicked out for no reason. No one knows why. They're a good enough team to play in the 68.
Last year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And now Utah State is going to be that team this year. So in my eyes, the teams that are playing in the first 4 are either in tough conferences or they just haven't played stellar basketball in anything that's inspiring that can win them games and more.
I think Carolina gets in. I think, Johnny, you might agree.
No.
So you asked me 2 weeks ago, I do. That loss to Duke didn't help.
Roll the
Baycott's the only guy.
Oh, we don't
think we have
that.
that. But I got a story for you if you want it.
So enough stories. Enough with the stories. I've had enough of the stories. You can only have so much sugar, right?
I want a sip.
You want a Sprite?
Yeah. All right. Anyways, Joe, we've hit on a couple of teams that are maybe right on the fence in terms of getting in, getting out. How about the sure things? Give me your top 4 overall seeds.
Yeah, I call this the nuffed seeds. This is not up for discussion. You have Kansas, you have Houston, Alabama, UCLA. Can we just move on to the next ones here? I mean,
all right, give me 2 seeds.
Do I have to explain, right? 2 seeds. Purdue, Tennessee, Texas, and Arizona. The 2 seeds in my eyes, they're kind of like the Boston Red Sox, always just not there. They're always just a few steps ahead.
What do you mean by
of
that?
The best teams in the division, and they just can't get up to the upper echelon. But again, you're a part of some of the top
I wish
teams
I
in
remember
college
2008.
basketball.
I was 7, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah, so I think Purdue is obviously like the Big Ten favorite. You guys were talking about earlier. Austin Barach thinks Northwestern is going to win. That's kind of crazy. But I think that Purdue, if they would go on and win the Big Ten, could be a number 1 seed. But it's the Nuff division. I can't go against.
Don't tell that to friend of the program, Jacob Morris. He's not going to be a fan of that one.
Well, I think Jacob Morris will understand. His team can't close.
He's not scared of North Texas, though.
No,
I'll tell you that much.
He's never scared of North
Texas. All right, so there's 1 and 2. How about the 3-4 area? Some other guys towards the top.
Yes, this is where some of the Big East teams come in. You bring the upstate kid on air. He's going to talk about Big East. Hey, UConn and Marquette, welcome to the 3 seed category. In with the Baylor Bears and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. I love these 3 seeds. I think one of these teams goes to the Final 4. I'm looking at Shaka Smart's team over at Marquette. They could make an entire run to make it into March Madness. Look, UConn is one of those teams as well that's been talented all season long. They have been in the top 3 for most of the season, and the Big East has a lot of great teams, and UConn's been at the upper echelon of that. Baylor, Gonzaga, these are blue bloods. These are guys that we have teams, I should say, that we've seen win March Madness, go on long extended runs. You might not be the 1 or the 2 seed, but you're still a force to be reckoned with.
Is this a Gonzaga team that can go on a serious run?
I don't think so. This Gonzaga team isn't as good as the teams in years past, right? The Bulldogs have had 1 or 2 lost regular seasons, plus St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference has really dominated out there. So I think Gonzaga has a lot of work to do if it wants to get all the way to the Final 4, but I just don't see it happening.
All right, so those are the 3s. We'll close up shop with who you have in the 4 region.
Kind of underrated that I've talked about 20 college basketball teams. All right, I don't
That's
think anyone else has really done
in 5 minutes.
Take a look at the 4 seeds. Hey, Duke, there you go. All right, a lot of blue in this. Creighton, welcome Big East. Xavier, Big East. And Kansas State out of the Big 12. Calvin, I'm a big supporter of Duke, as you just mentioned earlier, right? I think Duke is really hitting its stride.
Can we get that on tape?
You have to. No, let's not get that on tape. But Duke is a really hot team, and again,
the show,
you want to win in March Madness, you have to be a hot team. You have to go into the tournament winning a lot of your games. So I think Duke, along with the Kansas States, the Creightons, and the Xaviers, they are going to be teams that get out of the first round pretty easily. We'll have a tough matchup in the second round, but then you take on a 1 or a 2 seed in the Elite Eight and Final Four. It could go either way.
Joe, really quickly, because I'm in love with some 13 seeds or potentials this year, UNC, Asheville, Colgate, those teams. Is there one 4 seed you think is the highest chance to lose in the first round?
4 seed, highest chance to lose in the first round. I'll go with Xavier. I don't think the Musketeers are strong.
Under Sean Miller. Interesting pick. That is Joe Puccio. Between him and Joe Lenardi combined, over 20 years experience in the bracket-making business. When we come back here on No Pulp, we're going to wrap up the show with our final words, and we'll also give you some big plays of the week. Hang with us. This is No Pulp.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Hey, welcome back to No Pulp. Johnny Gadamowitz, Calvin Christoforo with you. Now we get to check out some of our favorite plays of the week. Mentioned it's a busy time across the college basketball world. For my top play of the week, we need to go to an absolutely filthy lob, dunk, alley-oop, call it whatever you want. How about Jamond Vincent with absolute authority? I don't know many guys that can dunk a basketball like that. Calvin, I could watch that on replay all night long.
Someone give me a live with the slam for New Orleans. But my play of the week, we go to the Big Sky Conference. One of the best names you're going to hear tonight, Oakland Fort, for the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona at the Horn to beat top-ranked Eastern Washington. Look at Oakland. Kicks it. Oh, he sticks it. This is a team in Northern Arizona, 10-22. Eastern Washington had hoped to go to the dance. They ain't going anywhere because the Lumberjacks chopping down the Eagles' nest as the Lumberjacks now take down the #1 seed in that Big Sky tournament, thanks to my guy, Oakland Fort, great friend of the program.
All right, I like it. Now, time for my final word. Over the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot about that trendy team that will bust brackets in March, whether it's on your For You page on TikTok or Joe Lenardi's hits on SportsCenter. Everyone's going to have the magical team to buy stock in. I'm here tonight to tell you to put all those to bed. This is the team that you circle as your bracket buster. It's the Texas A&M Aggies. They're going to make some noise in March. Penciled in as a 7 seed right now in the latest bracketology. Just missed the big dance last year. Went to the NIT title game, and this was the year they were supposed to take that leap. Started out just 6-5, 11 games into the year. How about since then? 17-3 with SEC wins just about as far as the eye can see. 15-3 in conference play. Really all came together over the weekend in a takedown of Alabama. Find me a team that has more momentum than A&M. You can't. Watch out for the Aggies.
Really odd you say that because 2 weeks ago you had North Carolina going to the Final Four, but hey, I'm not here to judge. What I am here to do is stop the disrespect against teams in the ACC. It's real, and I cannot stand it anymore. Can someone tell me when 14-6 in the ACC became worse than 11-9 in the Big Ten, 13-5 in the Mountain West, and 13-5 in the American? Well, the AP voters voters thinks, though, because teams like Maryland, Boise State, Memphis, and North Texas all received more votes than 14-6 Clemson this week. This, my friends, is something we've seen all season long, and coaches in the league have talked about it a ton. The net rankings are an issue because they do not respect teams that get hot late down the stretch. ACC teams are those teams. This should be a 7-bid league, yet right now it might just be 4. It's crazy, the disrespect the ACC is getting, a team that had 3 of the Elite 8 squads last year.
You think about how much it has changed for the ACC, but we will certainly find out how many Atlantic Coast squads will be in the Big Dance.
Hold on, fellas, hold on. That was the final word, but this was the final word for Johnny G and Calvin. These guys have been absolute lights to everybody at Citrus TV, and guys, we can't wait to see how you all succeed once you guys leave this TV station.
Hey,
thank you, gentlemen.
Joe, keep right on the glasses. AB, keep standing tall.
Yep.
Sorry about the loss tonight. It was a close one. This was fun. With Calvin, I'm Johnny saying thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.